This is me playing the Pantheon of Holonest for the 50th time. But I'm doing it in probably the worst way possible and the most difficult way I've ever done. And I've beaten all Pantheon bindings at once. But where did this all start? Let's rewind to when me and my friend Halfburger were hanging out IRL, and he recommended me this YouTuber by the name of Sample. I saw one of his videos said, "Can I beat Hollow Knight as a pacifist?" And I thought to myself, well, there's no way, right? But as we were watching the video and we saw all of these really cool strategies that he was using, I started to get an idea. An awful, wonderful idea.
Hey, Pear. Pear? Pear.
And that's
Stop.
when
What are
it
you
was
doing?
too
No.
late.
Please, I did not give you
couldn't
an idea for
back
another
down
challenge
from
that you're
that
gonna
idea.
spend
I
3 hours
immediately
on,
thought to
or
myself,
more, 3 days.
what if I can
Please,
beat the
stop.
Pantheon of
Don't-
Holonest as a pacifist? I started a new Godseeker file and tried the Charm build, Grimchild, Dreamshield, Waver Song, Sharp Shadow, and Unbreakable Heart. Starting off with Pantheon of the Master, this was the simplest one of them all, as always. I mean, seriously. Vengefly King, Cruise Mother, False Knight, Massive Mouse Charger, Hornet, Gorb. Jesus Christ, his attack pattern is so fast! Why is he so fast? This is the fastest Gorb I've ever seen in my entire life. Why is he so fast? Unless, like, I just haven't played this fight in that long, which is possible. Dung Defender, Soul Warrior. How is this a boss? Brooding Moloch, and finally, Oro and Mato. This boss was the only one that ever killed me, and I'm fine with that. Yippee! 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 1255. Next is Pantheon of the Painter. My personal pick for the easiest Pantheon. Little did I know it would spawn 3 absolute nightmares that haunted me for hours. It started fine. 0, Crystal Guardian, Soul Master, Oblobbles, Mantis Lords, and a bench. As I got off that bench though and walked into the next room, I had a realization. Thank God. Oh, me, Marmu. Why are you like this? That's right. Say hello to Marmu. The first of the 3 bosses that turned my life into a nightmare. You see, Marmu sucks. You normally fight her by hitting her away from you and basically playing Paw. But removing the nail adds infinite difficulty, and Marmu actually takes knockback from Sharp Shadow sometimes. For now, I lived. But this'll be important later. Next is Nosk and Fluke Marm. That's right. I can't pogo my favorite boss, Fluke Marm. Oh no. Fluke Marm is my second absolute horrible, awful, garbage, horrendous. It's a hard boss in this challenge. See, this boss is usually easy, one of the easiest actually. You pogo her, you one-shot Flukes, you mash Abyss Shriek, and she's dead. But removing your ability to one-shot Flukes makes this a genuine nightmare. After that death, I got to Broken Vessel, and the third and final nightmare, Shio. Yeah, Shio. I love Shio, but for some reason, I only ever had low health getting to this boss, and you just corner me and kill me. And honestly, by this point, I was just going insane. Death after 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 death. And after 12 runs, I was finally free. Yeah, baby. I love you, Shio. Oh my god. 13 minutes, that was awful, bro. Next was the pantheon I was scared of. Pantheon of the Sage. It has Hive Knight, Elder Who, Collector. Oh god, Collector gives me trauma. You might be thinking, why? It's a pretty easy boss. Well, Collector spawns creatures, and you can kill them in one hit. Except when you do all bindings. Your damage is so low that you can't even kill the base creatures in one hit. And this version was surprisingly easy, actually. Then Godtamer, Grim, Galian, and Zod again was fine compared to the All Bindings version. He only killed me twice. Next was Uma, who just gave me jump scares and death. And during my practice runs, I noticed something. That's right, you don't gain soul from hitting Collector because he's made of void. This is the same thing with False Knight. If you hit his shell, you don't actually gain soul because you're not hitting the boss itself. So I immediately used that to my advantage, and almost immediately lost a run because of it. I hit something. I committed a sin. Kill me, please. And after finally killing Umu, Hornet Sentinel, and Sly were a surprising first try. 2 health. Ow. 19 minutes. Not bad, actually. I'm okay with that. Next is the Pantheon of the Night. My personal favorite, with a lot of my favorite bosses. But we start off with Enraged Guardian, Lost Kin, No Eyes, Traitor Lord, White Defender, who I was very sad because you can't juggle him like a volleyball. After a nice bench, we get to Failed Champion, Markoth. I lost a handful of runs. What? I killed Markoth, Watcher Knights, Soul Tyrant, and finally, Pure Vessel. And I almost first tried him, but my second attempt was his defeat. Yeah, baby. Oh my god. Oh, the stress, bro. Oh my god, the stress. Oh my god, the stress. That is probably the most stressed I've been fighting Pure Vessel in a very long time. I am usually, like, very good at Pure Vessel. Pure Vessel is never a problem for me, because I've fought him so many goddamn times. It's a problem at this point. And to the point where I can very confidently hit him. Like, extremely confidently. And finally, after all of this time, all of this practice, and all of this suffering, it was time for the Pantheon of Hollownest, the true test of skill and patience. We start the Pantheon off with Vengefly King, and if you've never done these Pantheons, you might be questioning, whoa, why is there 2 of them? Well, it's because the Pantheon of Hollownest hates you, and it decided to put almost every single boss in their Ascended versions, meaning that most of them have different arenas, or just are doubled. After that is Gru's Mother, False Knight, Massive Moss Treasure, Hornet, a little break, Gorb, Dung Defender, Soul Warrior, Brooding Moloch, Oro and Mato, and finally the first bench. After that, we've got Zero, Crystal Guardian, Soul Master, Oblobbles, and Sisters of Battle, the first unique boss of the Pantheon of Hollownest. After that is the bench, and the start of my descent into madness, because we've got Marmu and Fluke Marm, one after the other. Figuring out how to kill these 2 and have enough health for Broken Vessel, Galian, and Shio was seriously irritating. And so, halfway through my practice, I finally figured out a new build. For the first bit of the Pantheon, I put on Unbreakable Heart, Sharp Shadow, Hive Blood, Grim Child, and Defender's Crest. And for these 5 bosses specifically, I'd put on Unbreakable Heart, Sharp Shadow, Thorns of Agony, Weaver Song, Defender's Crest, Grim Child, and Sprintmaster to fill out the final slot. And then I'd switch back after I get to the bench. Except I'd swap out Grimchild for Weaver Song for a little bit more consistent damage. So I get to Hive Knight, Elderhu, Collector, God Tamer, Grim, Watcher Knights, Umu, Winged Nosk, which is our second unique boss, Sly and Hornet, Enraged Guardian, Lostkin, No Eyes, I want this boss to burn in hell, Traitor Lord, White Defender, Soul Tyrant, Markoth, Zodagen, Failed Champion, and Nightmare King Grim, one of my personal favorites. After that, I get to Pure Vessel and the final challenge. The true final boss of the game. Absolute Radiance. I'd like to say that this fight was flawless, but unfortunately, it had been so long since I fought Absolute Radiance, and the fact that you just can't hit her makes things so much harder than you'd realize. And I've done this fight Radiant multiple times. And so I get to phase 4 and kind of panic, and that was it. Honestly, I was on the verge of giving up here, because even after dying here, I just kept dying earlier and just to dumber and dumber things. But I didn't let that stop me. And so, once I got to the Radiance again, I didn't let her win. Okay, now that I'm here in phase 5, you might be thinking to yourself, whoa, hang on. The last phase of the fight, you have to hit her, right? That's how you kill her. And I thought about this for a long time. I had played this fight earlier in the Hall of Gods to try this, and see if you could actually kill her by getting her health to 0. But no matter how low her health gets, she just stays alive until you hit her. And so I started to wonder if this was actually possible. Do you gain soul if you hit her? Surprisingly, no. As you can see right here, after the final hit, you didn't gain any soul. I don't care. I didn't get any soul. Oh my god. Oh my god. I almost threw that. Oh my god. I did it. I'm free. Oh my god, I did it. Let's go! And so I was finally free from this awful challenge. And that's how I beat all of the Pantheons without ever gaining soul. Let me know if you liked this video, and if you'd like me to do more Hollow Knight challenges, or just challenges in other games in general. I have a bunch of ideas, and I'd love to make these types of videos. This was actually fun, despite all of the torture I experienced. And yeah, see you next time!